How are these things related? We've got here a picture of wheat. We've got a farmer who looks like he grows wheat, but farmers can grow many types of things. So I want you to think for a moment how the farmer and the wheat may be related. Now we've got some cows. How do you think the cows, the farmer, and the wheat are all related? What do they have in common? Now we've got flour. Now you might be thinking, what in the world could flour have in common with a cow or wheat? We've got bread. How are all of these things connected to each other? They are in some way. Can you figure out how? Now we go from a farmer and wheat and bread to a tractor and trailer. Now we have fuel. Now there seems to be an obvious connection between the fuel and the tractor and trailer, but what about the other things? Let's start the show from the beginning again, and now we'll talk about how these things might be related to each other. And I'm going to ask some questions along the way, and I want you to think about the answers to these questions and what would happen if these things really happened. So we've got wheat. If we took away wheat, how is that going to affect the farmer? If we took away wheat, how would it affect the cattle? Or, if the farmer decided not to raise cattle, how would that affect wheat? We've got flour. If suddenly many farmers decide that they're not making enough money to grow wheat, what happens to flour? After all, wheat is used to make flour. We've got bread. Let's talk about that. What is bread made out of? What happens if the farmer decides not to produce as much wheat? What happens to the baker who needs the flour? We've got a tractor and trailer. What if there's a large demand for wheat? Will we need more trucks on the road? If we need more trucks on the road, what will happen to the fuel? I've got another interesting thing to add to our list of questions. If all of these things are related, and I ask about what happens to the fuel, or what happens if we eliminate certain things, then what happens next? Maybe this next slide will help you realize how all of these things are related. We've got money. How is money related to all of these things? What could it possibly be that brings a connection between these things? So what do you think? Let's take some time to discuss, and we'll come back and we'll talk about it.